What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Few things to discuss here in today's video. Lots to discuss, man, really. First things first, you see me right now doing the Fernandinho SBC. I did want to put him in the club. Pretty much any BPL player that's like reasonably priced I want to go for. I think this Fernandinho cost me about 75,000 coins, which I think is okay. It's maybe like, I would have preferred to have gotten for around like the 50k mark, but you guys know I'm making a lot of coins on this account. I'm happy to splash out at times on the SBCs if they're going to fit my team, and I wanted to try him instead of Kante. When comparing his stats to Kante's stats, he's a little bit taller. He's got a little bit more in certain areas and a little bit less in certain areas as well. But overall, I feel like he could be a solid replacement and then allows me to release the coins that are in Kante's card to further improve my team or to start saving for Team of the Year. And I definitely do want to start saving for Team of the Year now, because I do want Team of the Year players in my team. So it's now time for me to start being very cautious with what I spend and how I spend it, to start, hitting some good investments, to keeping the coin balance high, abusing the bronze pack method again, abusing these SBCs that are coming out and trying to make as much profit off of those as possible. And yeah, literally preparing myself for Team of the Year so that if a Ronaldo or a Griezmann or whoever comes out, I'm going to have at least a fraction of the coins or a portion of the coins to be able to consider being able to buy them. That's kind of like the aim over the next sort of like 2 to 3 weeks. So in this video, you're going to see some stuff here just for some SBCs and me selling some stuff like compared to the SBCs. And then we're going to go into gameplay from the stream that I did a couple nights ago. The gameplay is like, it's a little bit washy. It's just like a little bit weathered, if that makes any sense, because it is like ripped. It's not ripped from the stream. When I record a stream, I also record the gameplay. Like the whole stream gets recorded separately. With that in mind, and again, you're going to see like names popping up and stuff on the stream when people subscribe and whatnot. With that in mind, it doesn't record it in like the perfect 1080p HD quality that you're used to seeing. So apologies for that. But in stream yesterday, not the one you're about to see today, but the one the day after, we talked heavily about momentum, handicap, scripting, and morale. And what I talked about in the last video, which was to do with the morale and how it's potentially in the game, that video that was on the EA Spain's official website wasn't real. It was the dude's opinion, it wasn't fact. I think it's very misleading from EA to allow that to go out, because if you're a Spanish speaker and you go to the EA Spain FIFA website and you watch that video and you're like, oh crap, that's a thing, and then 3, 4, 5 weeks later you've played the game led to believe that, and they turn around and say actually it's not real, that was just an opinion of the guy who made the video, they need to be a bit more clear with that. The reason why we found out is because the guy is a YouTuber, so I think Basin ended up messaging him, and he told Basin that yeah, it's just his opinion. So that video that we discussed in length yesterday's video, the video itself is incorrect. That information isn't true to a point, but it definitely does feel like it could be something that's in the game for sure. So still a lot for EA to answer for ultimately, and this whole scripting, momentum, and handicap thing is gaining some traction. I believe people are wrong, right? I don't believe there's scripting. I don't believe there's handicap. I'm really on the fence with momentum. Like, I feel like there's something in the game, but it could be just like placebo. It could just be mentality. It could be your opponent going from balance to attacking in a game and starting to put more pressure on you, and he's literally physically himself changed the way the game's playing because of the things that he's done. It could be many things like that. The Reddit forums, they're just wrong in so many senses, man. And I'm open to discuss this issue. I'm open to listen to the opinions of both sides, but they're taking notes, not code, and assuming it's like it's part of the game. It's been confirmed several times that the double slash and then the text is a note, not a code. It's not an active runner. It's not an active runnable like line of code. It doesn't, it's not actionable in the code. It's just a note. So the fact that Reddit are getting behind these unactionable notes to use as proof of scripting, handicap, and momentum is crazy. What's even more crazy is the fact that some news outlets are starting to pick it up, some of the gaming magazines and stuff, which means it's now going to start gaining more traction, And even though it's wrong, and the way people are interpreting it is wrong, it's going to have to be responded to by EA, just like when the chemistry glitch started getting real traction through traditional media sources, like, you know, the UK Gamer magazine did an article on it. I think, like, basically every big gaming forum and website and news outlet had done an article on the chemistry, and so EA were literally forced to respond. It's getting to that point now. The only problem is it's getting to that point off of misinformation, not off of factual information. So for all we know, like, this could end up hurting the process that we could potentially have with EA to get information, because they could literally just turn around and say, hey guys, whatever you're saying is wrong. It's unactionable code, unactionable notes in the game, and it's not actionable in game. So sorry, but you're wrong, and just brush it off like that, rather than having an open dialogue with us. Interestingly, during yesterday's stream, we was talking to Marius Herpseth, who used to work for EA for some years, and I'm putting words in his mouth here, and I want that to be known that this isn't. I was reading between the lines with what he said here, and I am putting the words in his mouth and taking his quote potentially out of context. But he said in pretty much no uncertain terms that we are a small minority, the hardcore group of gamers. You and I, people that watch this series, people that are on Reddit, on the forums, that follow myself, Bates and Skills, etc. on social media. We are the minority. And for EA, it would be bad business for them to give us the information we want, because it could harm the casual gamer. And the casual gamer is the bulk of sales for both games and FIFA points. Thus, they essentially don't care about us, because it would hurt their business to care about us. And that is very, very disappointing to hear. It's very disappointing to hear the fact that you are so invested, in both financially and time-wise, into a game, and EA don't care about you because you're not part of the general. And I find it easy to believe, but I also find it really, really difficult to comprehend. You know, he said, like, in terms of like chemistry stats and stuff, he said the reason why EA have never like put that out so far is because, first of all, to change the interface of the game is very difficult. Like, the interface apparently gets locked months and months in advance, which is why we potentially don't see like chemistry. You know how we now know what chemistry styles boost and how chemistry works? Well, potentially the reason why we don't see that instantly on the actual card is because it's like a very, very arduous, expensive process to change the interface on the card, which they don't want to do now, and they may have for FIFA 18 or FIFA 19. But in terms of like actually talking about it and such, they don't want to tell us this, and that, and the other, because for a casual gamer to come along, it could turn them off the game because there's too much about it. Like, they need simplicity, and I understand that. But I would argue that FUT is more designed for a hardcore user. Like, if you want to talk about the casual gamers, guide them towards head-to-head seasons, guide them towards pro clubs, guide them towards any other game mode that's in there, career mode. But when it comes to Ultimate Team, especially now that EA are trying to make Ultimate Team competitive, they have to be 100% transparent with how everything in the game works. I always go to League of Legends for this, right? League of Legends, first of all, when they drop a patch note, they tell you every damn thing that you know that you need to know. If they've changed something by a point of a percent, you know, literally by 1/1000th of a percent, they will tell you that they've changed that by 1/1000th of a percent. The League of Legends also has AI. It is a user. If you don't know what if you don't know what League of Legends is, it's basically like it's like Dota or Smite or something like that. Like, there's 5 of you and 5 of them, and you control one character. But there is AI in the game. They have minions that go through the lanes. They have minions in the jungle that are like usable for both teams. And these things have set specific instructions. It's like when the minions like get sent out every, I think, 60 seconds. They get sent out from the base, right? 6 at a time, sent out from the base. Boom, 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 boom. You know that happens. And if all of a sudden your minions started getting sent out every 45 seconds instead of every 60 seconds, you would gain an advantage that the opposing team wouldn't have. However, you would know that this was wrong because you'd be able to see, hey, these minions are coming out too fast, because you know how fast they're supposed to come out. In FIFA, you don't know if something's right or wrong because you don't know what it's supposed to do in the first place. My argument for this is, like, in terms of long shots, like, if, you know, your player has long shots as an attribute in game. What does long shots mean? Where do long shots take effect? Are long shots considered to be outside the box only, inside the box only? Are they considered to be from 15 yards, 20 yards, 25 yards? What effect and impact does long shots have on the actual game? We don't know. We just don't know. It's the same as, like, what does long passing and crossing have different? Because if I take the ball on the halfway line from one side of the field and cross it to the other side of the field, is that constitute as long passing or crossing? We don't know. We genuinely don't know. And I think if EA want FIFA to be competitive, specifically in Ultimate Team, they have to say to the casual gamer, you gotta learn this shit. And they have to give the hardcore gamers every piece of information that they possibly can to be able to become the best possible player at FIFA with the information they have. You can't just be like, oh, but if we give you all that information, the guy who educates himself more and practices more will be better. Well, yes. Like, that's how competitive gaming should be. The dudes that are competitive League of Legends players, they play that game for 16 hours a day, every damn day of the week, and they learn every single thing that they possibly can to better themselves. You don't see someone who's not quite a pro going, well, this is so unfair. This guy's only a pro because he's invested more time and learned more about the game than me. That's how it should be. I don't know, like, I got some good insight from Marius and some good insight on the game and some, you know, some experience from him, but unfortunately he left me feeling deflated to the point where it seems like all this stuff we're asking for, it's not coming. They don't care. It's not coming anytime soon, and they don't care to tell us because at this moment in time, it's not in the best interest of their business in their opinion. In my opinion, it would benefit their business if they were to come out and explain how things were happening and give us, you know, true meaning to what actually goes on in the game. Not only would it probably put to bed, like, the whole scripting, handicap, momentum kind of theories, what it would also do it would give a trust within the company. Right now, people say, don't even, like, I see on Reddit every day, I'm done with FIFA, I'm never buying FIFA again, you know, this company this company that. Imagine if they came out and were like, hey guys, this is everything. All of a sudden you got, what? Wow, EA have actually done something to help us. Finally, let's pick this game back up, let's get involved in this game again. I personally believe it would encourage more people to play the game than it would discourage them to play the game. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber. 64 Ahmed says, how do you know that Ben Arthur's club will change on his one to watch card? Now Ben Arthur's club won't change because PSG denied the move to Fenerbahce. They said that it's either fake or it just wasn't happening or whatever. But basically, EA said back at the start of the game that if a one-to-watch card transfers, when and if they get an upgrade after the transfer, the club will change on the one-to-watch card. João Miguel says, Nep, I have a question. This week I got elite for the first time as I went 32-7. Well done, dude. But the question is, if the next team of the week is bad, can I open my team of the week pack on another team of the week, or is it capped for the team of the week you earned it? You can open it whenever the hell you want, but bear in mind that it only is effective for inform cards. You won't get team of the seasons, nor team of the years, you won't get team of the group stages, or any other special card in those packs. Potentially screamer cards, because there were some in some of those packs, but there was only limited amounts of them, and it wasn't all of them. I don't know how that one works, but in general, you won't get team of the years coming in January. But if you want to save it for a different team of the week, you are more than entitled to. Whatever team of the week you open that specific pack on, that's what team of the week it will contain. Reuven Spindler says, hi NepentheZ, I'm watching every episode of The Road to Glory and I like your content very much. Well, thank you very much, dude. He says, do you think EA should give us every day a special SBC, for example, with a kit or a special card of a player? I don't think they should give us an SBC every day with like a valuable like that, but I definitely think an SBC every day wouldn't hurt the game. It would keep people coming back every day. It would keep the market very interesting, very fresh, and it gives interest to people. You know, what we get typically right now is marquee matchups on a Thursday. We get the player of the month once it's announced, or you know, the day that it's announced, we get the player of the month. We get some of these special SBCs. We get 2 new players, I think the first week of every month, so we've got a couple more coming of those. And then they started doing like the League of Nations basics and the League of Nations hybrids and stuff that have expired, and they're just not doing them. But I don't understand why they don't do more stuff like that. It doesn't hurt the game. A new SBC every day would be very welcome, even if it was just a garbage SBC. I complain about some of the garbage SBCs because they're so erratic with them and we don't know when they're coming. But I wouldn't be bothered if, you know, every Monday it was simply a 100 chem gold team for a 25k pack. And that's it. Perfect. For me, that's perfect. It's an SBC, it's fun, it gives me a pack, it gets some players off the market, just does a little bit for everyone. But I'm sure EA have got a business plan in mind. I'm also sure, I don't think that they thought that the SBCs would become this successful and this popular. I think they thought that they would be fun and people would do them, but I don't think that the cult following that the SBCs have got, I don't think that they thought that it would get that. So, yeah, but yeah, I would love to see a new SBC every day. Ville Katola says, saw your super subs and noticed you don't have any defenders. Why is this? I think right now I have Juanfran and or Kazawa on the bench. If I haven't got them on the bench, it's literally just a mistake on my part. I usually do carry a couple of defenders, so if I don't have any on the bench right now, it's just an oversight by me. But when I go into FUT Champs, I will have the defenders back on the bench. Dank says, do you think that if someone like Diego Costa gets a second player of the month, maybe EA can do something like you can exchange the first one if you have it, and maybe that would cancel out 2 of the 4 squad builders that you'd have to do? They probably wouldn't, but it would make for a cool concept and benefit the people who did the first one. Could be easier of the 4 squads, just something along those lines. Yeah, I think that would be amazing, and I'd be interested to see how they would handle it if a player got a second player of the month card. You know, the obvious choices are Hazard and Costa. I would love to see them say, you know, hey dudes, here's a brand new upgraded SBC Costa, or instead of saying you turn in your Costa and it cancels out 2 of them, perhaps you complete 2 of them and then you can upgrade your current Costa and it like upgrades to the new one, so that you still have just the one of them but it's upgraded. I think that would be something like that would be awesome. I can't see it happening because they make far more money by it not happening. Yeah, I definitely would love to see that in the game. Ayo, the Irishman says, why do you think EA don't let us see boosted attributes when chem styles are applied? People would actually trust them then. And it literally just goes back to what I said earlier. Based on what Marius has told me, or told the stream that we was in the other night, I don't think that they have the time or the budget to change the interface this quickly. I would assume that we could potentially see that in FIFA 18 because they've got the time to change the interface. I also just want to say, like, as much as I bash EA from time to time, and as much as I get frustrated with things in this game and stuff, just like everyone does, I do understand, and I think a lot of people don't understand this. I do understand that the EA development team for Ultimate Team they're not a huge team. They don't have a huge budget, they're not millionaires. EA take all the money from Ultimate Team, but the EA Sports FUT dev team are a small team that have time restraints, budget restraints, you know, they have to meet deadlines, they've got a lot of stuff going on. It's not just like a group of dudes sitting there going, haha, these guys, oh, give us the money. Like, the dev team are guys that genuinely care about the game, but as I say, just don't always have the time to do everything we want, or the budget to do everything we want, or the legal the legal like opinion, or the legal kind of backing to do what we want at all times. This game that we're playing right here, guys, is against the #1 player in the world on Xbox right now. He went 40 and 40 last weekend. He's got an insane team, and he was watching the stream whilst we were talking about scripting, handicap, and momentum and stuff. And he said, like, you know, he doesn't believe in the handicap because the team that I'm playing against is the team that he used in FUT Champs. It was a 190 team, 190 rated. So anyone that feels bronze benching helps them, he's kind of contradicted that, showing that it doesn't necessarily help you, because he's been able to go 40 and 40 without bronze benching and without putting in a low rated team and having loads of informed. I ended up taking a 2-0 lead to him, and I was very excited. I was very happy. I thought, you know, I might be able to do this here. He ended up scoring a banging goal with Messi there. That little skill move just completely done me, and allowed him the space in the box. And after that, he basically just started scoring every opportunity he had. Tim de Jong said, who's a good centre-back as a substitution for Smalling or Bailly if they get injured or injured in the match? If you need like a BPL, because if they get injured you need a BPL, Williams is very good. And also, if you can afford the informed Reed that should be out by the time of making this video, I think he would be unbelievable. His card looks great. I might put him in as my starter. So we'll see that. Anyway, this game ended up going to 2-2, guys. bit of a silly penalty for me to give away. And, you know, my first goal was lucky. It was a rebound, a deflection off of Fernandinho's shot. I think a couple of his goals were a little bit lucky. Like, I put a couple of tackles in there. I was just unable to clear the ball, and then he ended up scoring to make it 3-2 in the 75th minute. There was one more chance in this game for me. Fernandinho really deep into the game. Ball pops out to him here. I did a McGeady spin. I had a pop with him, and it rattles off the bar from Fernandinho. And the game finished 3-2. But you'll see, guys, via the match stats that it was an incredibly even game. Now, he did say he was super nervous playing against me. And I personally was nervous playing as well, because he's the best player in the world right now, according to the leaderboards, you know. But as you can see by the match stats, I had better pass accuracy. Possession was dead even. It was just his clinical finishing that ended up being the difference in this game. So I was very, very happy with that performance against the #1 in the world. This, guys, is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.